welcome to Mr. Curro's tutorial on recording high quality sound out of a performance. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to get right into it. We have a couple pieces of equipment that I want to introduce you to or reintroduce you to. Right here we have our microphone. This is a Shure SM58, kind of the workhorse of the industry. We have our mic stand connected to our microphone. We have our mic cable, most often called an XLR. We have that signal going into the mixer, out of the mixer, into the computer. That's basically all of the pieces of equipment that we kind of need. So, I'll explain this real quick. This is a dynamic microphone we're going to play here. Dynamic means that it doesn't require phantom power. Not a lot of mixers have it, and so in that case, this is a pretty decent microphone. And now, we're going to send that signal right over here to our mixer. Slide up your slider to about 0. Now your gain is usually at the top, right here. This is your gain. So what you want to do with your gain is start it also at 0. Now your slider is at 0. 0 isn't usually at the bottom. 0 is going to be almost to the top of the slider. So you'll slide up your fader, or your slider, to 0. On this is a Behringer Euro rack. On this Behringer, it's called a trim. It could be called a gain also. But it's right at the top usually. And that controls the flow of audio into the channel. So, we have our gain. And what I want you to do is you're going to adjust your gain until you start to see that channel dance. So once you see the LEDs from that channel start to dance, that's when you're in good shape. Now you're going to send that audio out of that channel into the main. Now it's going to pop over here to the main. Right here is the main. Okay? Now it's going to send out of there into your computer. Now into the computer, just run it into the mic input. Then when you get into hardware properties, here in Adobe Audition, change it to line level in instead of mic array. Make sure you do that before you open your file or your multi-track session. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to show you how to open a multi-track session in Adobe Audition. I'm going to get out of this one. We don't need it anymore. And this is basically what you'll see when you open up an Audition. So you go into File, New, and you want a multi-track session. Right now we're going to call this Recording for Trumpet. All of the rest of these settings you'll be able to leave alone. 48,000 hertz, 48 kilohertz is more than enough bandwidth for us because we end at 20 kilohertz. 48 means that it goes 24 on each side of 0, so it goes down to 20, or rather 16 hertz all the way up to 24 kilohertz. So that is more than the human ear can hear. So 48 is sufficient. Once you have it opened, go over to the one that you just selected, which is Recording for Trumpet. Double click on it. Now it's going to open up the session here. Now we're going to arm it again. Arm our channel, and we can see that we're getting audio out of it, and it's ready to record. Once you have that, you're basically ready to go. Okay, so since you could trim the audio back and forth, if you need to trim the front, you need to trim the back, or you need to edit it at any point, you can always do that. It's always better to get more audio than not enough audio. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit record. There. Now our track is recording. You can see that it's recording my voice right now, and it looks like it's going to come to the end. Nice thing about Audition is it automatically expands the track. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. Now I know I made a mistake there. So I'm going to start there again on that measure. recording. Now once you're done, hit the record button again, and it's going to finish that track up. Hit the stop and it'll stop the scroll bar, or the scrubber. So on this part right up here, you can scrub all the way back to the beginning, and you can grab your cursor, bring it all the way back to the beginning, and you can see that we had our first piece of audio right there. And there it is. Now, I made a mistake in there, and you can go in and you can edit that in the waveform monitor. So, what we're going to do right now is, let's go ahead and we'll edit it. So you double click on the track, and it opens up the waveform monitor. I'm going to slide on my headphones so I can hear what I'm doing here. Highlight that area. Okay, that wasn't our mistake. Highlight this area. And we'll play that one. Now, I found the area where I made the mistake. So all I have to do is I can just delete that portion. So I'm going to delete that portion of audio. And it warns us because we have it also open in the multi-track sequence. There we go. Okay, so that's that one. Let's go back to the multi-track session. Here's our multi-track session. And I'm going to take us back to the beginning here. That is pretty decent quality, but I think it needs some reverb. Pull down the pull-down menu for Effects 1. And we'll go into Reverb. I find the nicest sounding is the studio reverb. Now, I can leave that on, or I could turn it off. Okay, so now let's say you're satisfied with it. So we're going to save this as our original file so that we can always go back to it. Now what we would like to do is we're going to export this track. And we're going to go to a multi-track mixdown, the entire session. Now, here's where you get to pick your file types. So you could pick Apple file types, AIFF, you have MPEG-2, you have some waves. So for right now, we're going to put it on MP3. Okay, so this is good. We have our MP3 format. It's going to be saving it at 48,000 hertz or 48 kilohertz at 32-bit. Also, the format for the MP3 is at 192 kilobytes per second, which is even better than the 128 kilobytes per second, which is considered CD quality. So this is going to be a really nice recording. So let's hit OK. And it's saving that now. And it's done. So basically, we went through the whole process. We have our microphone, we have the audio signal going to the mixer, out of the mixer, into the computer, and using Adobe Audition as our software platform. We recorded our music, edited a little bit, and now we have a pretty decent audio recording. And it's not just pretty decent, it's a high quality audio recording. And that is one of the ways to make one. Okay, thanks!